I want you to rewrite this quadratic function in vertex form. Vertex form looks like this. It's f of x is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k, where the point hk is the vertex. This is a comma. Looks a little bit too much like a 1. There you go. Okay, now there's more than one way to do this. You can do something called completing the square, but that can sometimes be a nightmare because it might create fractions and ain't nobody got time for that. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see, vertex form, that's this, okay? What I'm gonna do is use the standard form, which is a little confusing because I noticed up here it says our OpenStax textbook also calls it the standard form. I have never heard this called the standard form. I have always heard, and I've been teaching for over 30 years, the standard form for a quadratic is f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c, which is how you're first introduced to quadratic functions. And you learn how to factor them, and then they move you on to the quadratic formula, and then you're taught about using completing the square, which would put it into the vertex form. So I don't know what this book's talking about. Now, when it's in the standard form, x is going to equal negative b over 2a. Let me clarify that. The x coordinate of the vertex, okay? When you calculate negative b over 2a, this is the x coordinate of the vertex. And I won't go into big detail about why, it just is, accept it and move on. I could prove it to you, but it would take too long, and I only have about 10 minutes. So when you look at this problem up here, and you compare it to ax squared plus bx plus c, my a is the 4, and my b is a negative 20. Now, I don't need c for this, I just need a and b. If they ask you to solve for x, well then yeah, you need the whole quadratic formula and you need c for that, but that's not what we're doing here. So I'm just going to calculate, x is going to be negative b over 2 times a, and my b goes right here, and my a goes right here, and a was a 4 and b was a negative 20. So a negative and a negative makes it a positive 20. Oops, I meant to do that in blue, sorry. Is a positive 20 over 2 times 4 is 8. And of course 8 doesn't go into 20, but I can reduce them down by 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So the x coordinate of the vertex is 5/2. And now I need the y coordinate. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 5/2 and I'm going to plug it into the original function everywhere there's an x. So f of x is equal to 4 times x squared minus 20 times x, and x was 5/2. And after I substitute it, now it's me in order of operations. 5/2 times 5/2 would be 25 over 4. So exponents come first. Remember your order of operations? You probably remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which has been around since I was a kid in school. So I updated it to please excuse my dumbass sister, because I don't have a dear Aunt Sally. Okay. Multiplication is next. This 4 and that 4 will cancel out, leaving me with just the 25 minus. And then over here, 2 goes into 20, what, 10 times? And 10 times 5 makes that a minus of 50. And 25 minus 50 is negative 25. And that is my y coordinate. So when I'm over here in Mobius, in here, right here, I'll have to type in the 5/2 negative 25. And all I need to do now is take this function. This is the way it would look when it's in vertex form. And simply substitute the 5/2 is going to go where the h is. And the negative 25 is going to go where the k is. So f of x is going to equal, oh, I don't know what a is. Oh yeah, I do. Sorry. A is the same in both functions. A right here was a 4. So this a here is also a 4. That'll be the same. So it's going to be 4. And then parentheses, x minus h. H is a positive 5/2. And then it's plus k. K is a negative 25. So adding a negative is just subtracting a 25. And that should be my answer. I am going to go into Mobius right now and plug it in. Let's see. Mobius. Just so you can see that it's the right answer. Let's see, x minus, oh, okay. Sorry, I want to do the fraction thing, so let's see, 4 parentheses, x minus, hey, x minus, and I need a fraction, so click on the a to the b, and there's my fraction. 5 over 2, close the parenthesis, and I'm going to highlight that. I think this will work. A to the b, yep, there we go. And type in the b, which is a squared, scroll down, and minus 25. And then the vertex, it didn't give me the option down here. Well, fine. Vertex is 5/2, comma, negative 25. Will it take it like that? Because it didn't give me any options. Can't click that on. Let's see what it says when I click on how did you do? Yay, I got it right. All right, so I hope that makes sense, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk.